Well, hello there, NerdzGotWordz Universe. It's your boys here at NerdzGotWordz. Today we're talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
Who's blowing the fuck up in the middle of our set here? Huh?
Me? Cheyenne, turn off the phone.
Or is the Ghostbusters? Are you going to call the Ghostbusters? What's going on over here?
The
Shit,
hoes
I don't
on
know.
Twitter can wait.
Who we gonna call?
We can't say that word. We're not 30 seconds in.
Damn.
Wait,
She'll
there-
bleep me out.
Today we're talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Did
Did we finally get a resurgence of the lovable franchise? Or should it not have been made? Just like the girl one. Just like the girl one, yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not see it, but I knew that it did not look good.
Well, you know what? You didn't miss much.
Yes.
So
Have you ever seen a movie and the whole time you're just like, why am I here? That's what that one made me feel like.
well,
I didn't like that at all. You know, will this bring back Ghostbusters into the light?
I sure hope so.
Who knows? But anyways, let's dive right into it. So first off, just like what we do on all of them, let's discuss our initial thoughts. So from the trailer, Adrian, were you hopeful?
Ooh, no, not at all. I mean, it's Ghostbusters. I wanted to give it a chance, so before like just watching the trailer and everything, I was just gonna be like, once is good enough.
Yep.
That's like the whole time I was thinking. I was like, oh, what am I gonna walk into? Is it gonna be a mess like the last one? Even though I didn't see the last one, but I was like, I heard it was terrible. But I was like, I had high hopes because they had like some connection to the original one, so that's why I had some high hopes for it.
Yeah, I would say that just from the trailer alone, I could tell that they were gonna try and do like a old school meets new school with like some middle ground of like them meshing, and then coming together and just trying to rebrand it. So I thought that I had some hope about that. However, going into this movie, I had as much expectation as I would for a DC film. Low. If it surprises me like Shazam did. Actually, no, I think Shazam was the one movie where I didn't have low expectations going into it. Even Wonder Woman and Aquaman, I was just like, oh boy.
Another DC movie.
Let's see how this is going to go. Where'd they get the money to make this one? That's what I feel like it. So for me...
What I want to know is who greenlighted the Clifford movie? That's another good question right there.
Oh my god, dude.
All these movie questions, huh?
Stoners. But yeah, I'd give it a once is good enough. I knew I was going to have some level of enjoyment out of it. However, I was just unsure if it was still going to be bad or amazing. What'd you think about it?
well, watching the last one, I wouldn't give it as harsh a rating as you do, but I would probably give it a meh. It's just because it exists. I mean, their thought process is they're like, yeah, it exists, but we're not gonna talk about it, and they were trying to move on and bring life back to this. Apparently,
It's one of those movies where they're trying to like revive it, like revive the franchise.
I mean, even the newer generation knows who the Ghostbusters are. Like,
Exactly.
Ghostbusters is like a family household name.
exactly.
It's an iconic movie. It's kind of like watching Hocus Pocus on Halloween. Like, it's just something that a lot of people do, and Ghostbusters is
I haven't seen that movie. Actually.
So,
Me neither.
what the...
Ain't nobody got time for Hocus Pocus. There's better scary movies out there.
Okay, well, he does.
I don't do scary movies anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Okay, so this is the end of our podcast. Sorry about that, guys. They've never seen Hocus Pocus, so therefore I'm out. No, but yeah, this movie, I was going in there low because I feel like that's the only way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my expectation, if I had to give it like a higher expectations, probably when the first Jurassic World came out, I was a little bit hopeful, but at the end of the day, how, just like this movie to Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, like, how is it going to compare to the original? They're kind of almost starting over.
Yeah.
Like, how is it going to live up to the hype?
Yeah.
You don't. You just have to wait until.
I had it at a probably a meh going into it. but we were gonna have to wait and see what happened.
Yeah. Oh, and right here and now, spoiler warning.
For real, honestly. Spoiler warning for whoever didn't see it. Go watch it, click off of us, then come back to us.
It's Tuesday. Tickets are cheap.
True.
Honestly, it's $6 Tuesdays. What are you doing?
Get some tacos and then go to the movies. What else you doing on a Tuesday?
It's $11 right there for a date night. It's not that hard.
Now, probably my favorite parts of this whole movie that I want to talk about right off the bat.
It won't break the bank.
Is the OG cast being there.
At the very end.
At the very end.
I was not expecting. I was just expecting maybe one.
I personally was expecting Bill Murray to be there because, that's one of his iconic roles.
Yeah.
I feel like he would just have to show up.
I feel like I just had a feeling that he didn't want to be honest, though.
Yeah.
But he popped up and I was like, oh, wow, look at that.
Well, technically the ending shows that there might be more of them.
No, yeah, that ending basically made it sound like they're going to basically revive the franchise again.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to basically get the old cast. Maybe the old cast teaching the new cast, like, oh, look.
Yeah, that's what I feel like it's going to be.
This is what you got to do. Because what was that one guy's name who took the Ecto one back to New York to fix it and then took it back to their old place?
Oh, snap. What was his name? I have the list up right here, guys. I'm trying to be prepared.
Oh, my.
Tracy.
Names are hard.
Tracy
Letts?
Letts?
Yeah, it is.
Was it Tracy Letts?
Let me see. It was this dude, yeah.
Ernie?
Yeah, he's the one who takes back the Ecto one back to New York.
Oh, I thought you meant who brought it to the middle of nowhere.
Oh, no. I'm referring to the end. Where he literally takes it back. It's like,
oh yeah, he bought the
firehouse.
Yeah, he bought the firehouse. Just to find out he was rich too, and I was like,
yeah.
Wow.
I knew one of them had to be making bank because how could you progress the movie if they all would decently lived? One of them has to be the heavy lifter.
Yeah.
And the other sucky thing about this whole movie, well, not in general about the movie, but the story part of the movie is they all didn't believe the one guy who was like, she's coming back, the end of the world, blah blah blah. He was like, fine, I'll do it myself.
Well, they... yeah.
And he did. But ended up dying by himself, too. Poor guy.
Yeah, and they really tugged at our, nostalgia. They showed us the commercial,
the old,
the old commercial. They hinted at, oh, do you remember the tragedy in New York? And it's like, oh, yeah, of course I know.
It was like The Walking Dead.
Yeah, literally. I mean, how could you forget it? Godzilla-sized marshmallow man walking around.
I was just always wondering, how did they run out of business? You would think there would be more ghosts or something, or I don't know.
Well, I think they're trying to show that they caught all of the. Well, they defeated the one that was bringing ghosts.
Oh, okay.
So I guess the straggler ghosts they probably snuffed out.
Probably.
They should have they should have did better.
What do they do with them once they're captured in the box?
I assume they store them or they put them in a storage unit thing.
So they're like the Conjuring family, where they just have all the demonic items in a basement. They just put boxes everywhere.
I was leaning more towards Danny Phantom. Where they have
the ghost zone.
They just shove them in the portal.
Yeah, the ghost zone.
That would be awesome.
Oh, I love Danny
Okay, that makes
Phantom.
because I remember.
For a second.
No.
Luis says hi, and he says that he thinks it's a solid buy.
Oh, the movie.
For Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Okay.
Ghostbusters.
That is his answer.
Honestly, yeah, but to be honest, I'll buy it. I'll buy it too. Like I said, low expectations. I came out with high expectations.
Yeah, and I mean, even the town was old school.
Which was great.
Yeah, I feel like they were really trying to hammer home the old school thing, and then the younger kids were bringing the newer generation.
Exactly.
I think they did that really, really well. I also really liked how the villain in the film was the villain from the first film. They thought they got rid of him, but it's she's back, and then it would make sense
he,
that
she, it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know nowadays.
They, them. We don't want to.
We don't want to offend anyone.
We don't want to give the monster.
But yeah, no, the whole. Well, let's talk about the cast now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't really care much about the main characters. I only cared about Podcast. Literally,
Podcast.
He was the best.
Podcast?
He was my favorite character. The little girl was great too, but podcast #1 favorite character.
You know, it's kind of funny how a lot of movies nowadays are kind of copying Marvel's MO with like lighthearted comedy during serious moments.
Yeah.
And just overall like a funny guy. I feel like before Marvel started popping off, movies didn't really have like a funny
that funny aesthetic
like
in like an action film or horror. Yeah,
they didn't have like an intentional character whose job was to be funny.
right.
You know, like I feel like Star Wars tried to do that with Jar Jar, and just so many people didn't. Like Jar Jar that I feel like a lot of people tried to shy away from it. But then Marvel bringing it into it, especially during serious moments, because I remember movies prior to this, they would let serious moments be what they are.
Yeah.
Like really hit you, you know, your heartstrings.
Right.
But now I feel like, you know, they try to add in a little hint of comedy to make it less serious because that, you know, it is
the
a
comic
movie.
relief basically in every film.
Yeah, and that's what Podcast was. And I will say, I think Podcast did it great. He had a purpose, and the other girl did not.
She was just there finding all the clues, finding the equipment, basically. I mean, I didn't think she was a bad character either. I thought she was a very good character as well.
Oh, Phoebe?
Yeah.
I think Phoebe's character...
Oh, wait, no, not Phoebe. Sorry.
Oh,
the sister. I keep forgetting her name. The granddaughter?
Yeah, that is Phoebe.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, that is Phoebe?
Yeah.
I thought the sheriff's daughter was Phoebe.
No. All it says on here is Phoebe's classmate, so we're never going to know her name. You know, that's how insignificant she was. It just straight up says Phoebe's classmate. There it is, guys.
But they weren't classmates, though.
Yeah, they weren't. Which is
they
the
weren't.
weird
I don't know why it's on there.
What the hell? Where's Podcast at? Oh, there he is.
There he is.
What? You could at least said Trevor's love interest.
You know,
honestly.
Yeah, but I feel like everyone had, you know, I feel like with the new cast outside of the African American girl. I'm sorry, look, even on here, guys, it doesn't say what her name on the show was. Sorry.
Google it.
I don't
see for yourself.
I don't remember. But like, listen, like Phoebe was the brains, you know. Her older brother Trevor was kind of like he was the driver, but I feel like if there's another one,
like driver / mechanic.
Yeah, he was the driver / mechanic.
He essentially took on the role that Ernie Hudson.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get.
But they basically all played their own part of an old Ghostbuster.
Yeah, I would say Podcast kind of hit on the Bill Murray side of like
honestly, yeah, probably.
The producer narrator type role.
Yeah,
and it's like, what did the other girl do?
We're gonna see the bloopers of like when this movie comes out and you see Podcast literally in the back with the director's chair. Got it. What am I seeing here? This isn't what I planned.
I would assume that her role might be taking up Ernie Hudson's role.
Maybe. Like I said, it's this is basically a new era for Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So it's obviously going to be a whole new generation. I can already see a Ghostbusters, the next generation, or something like that. Something cheesy like that.
Yeah, I just. You know, and then it was like, it's just such a typical movie. It's like they tried to say like, oh, you know, monsters are coming, obviously, or not monsters, ghosts. You know, people are like, oh, I don't believe you. And then when it happens, it's like, oh, shit.
I mean, the one good thing that the trailers did with this movie is that they didn't advertise it so much that you already got what was going to happen through the trailers.
Oh, I hate when movies do that.
But this one didn't do that. Like, we didn't know that the OG demonic person was coming back. The only thing we got were just those weird dogs in the movie. That's it.
That was honestly a surprise to me.
It was a good surprise too.
The only thing from the trailer that I knew for certain was that they were going to fix the car.
I thought that was the main problem.
Well, obviously they're going to fix the car.
Let me just say, when I saw that car, I like pointed. I was like, "There it is, there it is."
Oh my
and then.
God.
Also, I loved all the these new gadgets that they had, like the little RC ghost trap. That thing was pretty cool.
The ghost trap. It brought back the OG weapons, and it showed that they still work and have a purpose.
Yeah.
Maybe later down the line they'll like modernize them and make them better.
The one thing is that was the guy never able to build more of them? Because like I remember in the main story, he said that he took all their equipment because he didn't believe in him that. She was coming. That demon girl looking person was coming back. and no one believed him, so that's why he ran over there. I like how they named him the Dirt Farmer.
Yeah. I was like, what?
And I was very confused the whole time. I was like, why are they calling him the Dirt Farmer? The Dirt Farmer.
Yeah, it's like he didn't he didn't plan or something. I was like, okay, what's wrong with that? I didn't see a problem, but then
You
when
just
I
bought a lot of dirt.
I kind of had a funny feeling I knew why that they were doing that because as it turned out in the film, that's where he hid all the traps. Yeah,
exactly.
Which, by the way, that being like an end game, how they defeat it was genius. Like, if they would have done something else, I feel like it would have been stupid, you know, or not as like impactful, you know. That was a shit ton of traps too.
That was
That was like 60 traps easily.
But yeah, like like I said, he literally took everything away, and I was like, well, what did he do with it? Why did he have to take so much? Why didn't he leave anything behind? And then you find out that he was basically using it to stop the wormhole from like expanding, and B, because he made that dirt farm trap.
Yeah, that was. I also liked how he came back as a ghost and was kind of guiding them.
That was actually pretty cool. At first, I didn't think it was him, and I was like, "Oh, it's that classic cliche where it was like it's a ghost, and you think it's like a family familiar helping you, but it's actually the demon trying to get what it wants."
Yeah,
I thought that's what I thought, but no, you find out that it was basically the grandfather.
I kind of had a funny feeling I knew who it was because like. A demon wouldn't want to play chess with
That's
somebody.
what I was thinking
Like,
too. And I was like,
wait a minute.
I was like, let me. All right, kid. Let me show you how smart I am.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
So, here's what I was thinking. So he died, right? And I was like, don't tell me this is kind of like a Han Solo death, you know, where he's just done.
Right.
I was like, tell me there's more. And then he like came back as a ghost, and he helped them discover the equipment and help them fix it and stuff. And I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, because that's something that I feel like that's something any of the Ghostbusters would do if they died.
I find it ironic how his traps had the reason why they failed is because it needed more power.
More power.
Like, I need more power. Freaking the guy.
The girl, Phoebe. Yeah,
not Phoebe.
Trevor. Oh yeah,
Trevor.
The dude from Stranger Things.
Trevor.
Trevor shot it.
Yeah, he shot it, and then it finally worked.
I was like, huh, that's very convenient. I thought that was a little cheesy too, but I was like, it's basically energy. So
yeah,
it explains. But yeah, and then the whole sequence where like they all open and they basically all these traps open just to collect the ghosts.
Exactly. I'm just like,
and let me just say they're driving the car trying to catch the muncher, and like this car, the door opens and she like comes out as like a turret seat.
Oh, the gunner seat. Yeah, that was pretty cool too.
They made that go way harder than it need to.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
and then that ghost. What was the ghost name? The muncher.
Yeah, the muncher.
He only chewed on like metal.
Yeah,
that was pretty weird. But that was gross too when they were walking, when Podcast and Phoebe were like, they found him. Mm-hmm. And he was like in that abandoned factory and he was munching on like basically anything that was metal. And then you see all these bite marks and slime. And I was like, they need to clean those pipes. But then you find out it's just because of the muncher's plasma or whatever.
Who I want to point out was played by Josh Gad.
It was. It says it right on here. Mine was played by Josh Gad.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, I love Josh Gad. Anything Josh Gad, I'm here for.
True.
Gaston, Olaf. Oh,
he was
I love
Gaston.
It.
No, he was Le Fou.
You know, he sang the song Gaston.
True.
Okay. That makes sense.
I would say that this movie definitely popped off on like the smaller details. You know, things that they bring attention to, but then you're like, oh, that's cool. But I feel like like what you said with the muncher, I think that they draw more emphasis right on that. So I was like, oh shit, like the ghosts are back. I think that's what they're trying to hint back at.
And then those demon dogs were they were very well made.
I believe the whole thing why he died is because he caught one of them, right? He caught
he caught one of them and the other one started coming after him.
He wanted to put it in the trap.
Yeah, but obviously the trap didn't have enough power and he ended up getting killed because he's little... It looked like a crossbow. The little radar thing.
Yeah.
But it's basically like a ghost taser or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it didn't charge in time or he didn't hit the demon in time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he died. I was like, oh, that's...
I think he just kind of sat down and accepted death.
At the same time, yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Wedding Crashers. That's the other one he's in. Wedding Crashers.
Jesus.
I don't care. I don't care. I wanted to say it.
What do you think about Mr. Gruberson, which is played by Ant-Man?
Ant-Man, he was great. Even though he's like already this big star now, like you know him basically as Ant-Man, he's still a great side character. He was just this professor. He was not a professor. He's a substitute teacher. Who was like, all right, here you go. I'm gonna play you classic horror films.
Yeah.
While I try to figure out what's going on with our city.
I don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. Let's just watch old.
They watched.
scary movies.
Didn't they watch like Beethoven?
They watched Cujo.
Oh no, Cujo.
Yeah.
That dog.
Yeah, that's an appropriate thing to show.
And the funny part is that the kids were like, "Cool, yeah,
they're like, all right, yeah." Like until you actually watch it.
Dude, those dogs are so gentle, and they just made it to this demonic dog.
Like I feel like Paul Rudd, which is Ant-Man, I feel like him and Ryan Reynolds in a movie would be awesome because Ryan Reynolds is like that main character, that central figure, funny. And like
they'd never been in a movie together, have they?
I don't think so. And Paul Rudd's like that side character, funny, that draws attention to what the main character's saying, like what the plot's doing.
Did you know that Paul Rudd was in one of the Halloween movies?
He was?
He was in Halloween The Curse of Michael Myers. There we go.
Really?
It was not his best. He was very bad in that film.
Interesting.
He basically played that weird teen from like across the street that just always is looking at you, but he likes to like do research about like theories, ghosts and all that stuff, and that's how he figured out everything about the Curse of Michael Myers, aka the internet.
You know who also was in this movie that I didn't really notice? J.K. Simmons. Yeah, he was Ivo Shandor.
Wait, where is he?
J. Jonah Jameson is in this movie, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, who was Ivo?
I don't know.
I don't remember. We don't listen. This movie, you don't watch it for the characters. You watch it just for Ghostbusters. Like
honestly, literally, that's the only reason
I don't. I barely remember any of the characters that were in this movie, but I remember what happened. I remember like the plot.
I don't remember seeing him at all. So what did he do?
I don't know.
Oh shit.
Anyway, speaking of the plot, what did we think about the plot?
I thought it was solid. I thought it was good. Like I feel like they didn't over exaggerate. I didn't think they really copied much of like the original.
Ivo Shandor was the guy that was in the coffin that he's like,
he was like,
I made this for you, and she just completely
that was him.
Yeah, look,
I built this for you.
See, he got ripped in half.
Wow, that didn't look like him. Now that I think about it.
Yeah,
that was so gross. Though he's like, I built this for you, and then he's like, and I was like, whoa.
I was like, podcast, like, okay. I think he's alive, and then they're just like, nah, he's dead. He
just comes to life.
Yeah. He just like looks at you, and that was scared the shit out of you. You wouldn't. First off, you wouldn't have even been in the building.
No, I wouldn't.
It would just be mid-Adrian.
Yeah. I was like, right. I saw that. Right? I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I think he's alive. Let's throw him in the hole.
I'd be supportive on the outskirts. I'd be like, go get him, guys!
He'll be in the car. We're like, I got the car ready. Let's go.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about her guard dogs? I think it was the gatekeeper and
the gatekeeper and the
what was the other one?
Crap, I forgot. Let's just call them both gatekeepers. The key, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I was like lock and key, and I was like, I get it because they're gonna fuck. Okay.
That was actually really funny. Oh, God. Paul Rudd and then Phoebe's mom. I don't remember the actor's name, but that was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie was essentially what was supposed to happen in the original Ghostbusters, and the Ghostbusters put a stop to it. Essentially,
right?
Which that one was funny. Like, wait, I'll be anything, and he's like, Marshmallow Man. Like, come on, man. You could have said like a I don't know, like a bug and just step on it and be done with it. But yeah, I really like that they decided to go with like the OG villain.
No, that was great. And
I honestly was not expecting
that. And I thought the whole CGI part of her like getting like its body, like, because you know how the demon needed both the dogs around, and she didn't have both of them. She like starts like melt. I was getting the Mummy vibes if you've seen the first Mummy.
Yeah. And
I was like, that was pretty cool because back then that first Mummy movie actually scared me a lot because of the Mummy.
Yeah.
But then when you look back and I was like, what the fuck was I scared of?
Honestly,
it looks weird.
I expected the monster to be a lot bigger, but it looked like it just came out of the 70s.
And that was great.
Out of like a disc or like
yeah.
a disco bar or something. And yeah, that was awesome. Like,
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and the dogs, it's like you trap one of the dogs and she just like semi-disintegrates.
Yeah.
I was like, she's the worst top ghost ever.
Yeah,
you know, you just remove one of her dogs and she's
gone.
Yeah, she's just in a jumpsuit and she's just like, oh, look at me.
It was like, are you here to pledge your loyalty or your life? No, not your loyalty, like your life to me.
And
I was like, no.
I'm like, no, I'm just here to distract you.
Yeah.
And they're giant. I get it. They're like giant killer dog monsters. But I think if something like your weakness, you know, if, you know, Superman's weakness is kryptonite, but he's not going to carry it around in his pocket for anyone to defeat him. But like, that's what she did. She was like, I sit and they're right there. And it's like, okay, but you know, if they defeat one of them, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. Well, basically, they just had to catch one, and she was screwed.
And then the car, and then they're driving, and then like the little car's like, trying to
following them. The one thing that annoyed me was that like did the dog not hear that something was coming underneath it?
I don't know.
No, because the dog hit it, and the dog went, and then it just went back up. Like it didn't know. What
I know, but you know how an RC car sounds like? You hear the
yeah.
Like you didn't hear that?
I don't know. You'd think a ghost dog would have abnormal hearing than a regular dog, but, you know, I guess not. Apparently,
I mean, look. I mean, you saw the dog's face. He was just happy to be there. He was like, "Yeah." And a little RC car was like, boop, and he's like, "Huh?" He's like, "Whatever." Yeah. Just sucks him.
You know what was another funny thing that I remember was when Paul Rudd and the two kids, Podcast and Phoebe, when they were trying to like, yeah, let's open the ghost trap.
It's probably dangerous.
Well, let's do it.
And I was like, do you not see something oozing out of it? I'm not gonna open that.
I mean, like the whole beginning, it was like cool replica. And then like he's like.
It's like, oh, let's open it.
Let's open it.
Let's open it.
I mean, that could literally have like Satan in there.
They
just open.
They just open it.
God.
And then the part that made me laugh was when they opened it, his car window broke.
Yeah.
And then when he's in the Walmart scene when he's trying to run,
God,
he doesn't even open the door. He just
dives in and first. I was like, what?
I really like their little touch with the little marshmallow.
Dude, that was great. They were adorable.
Those things were freaking suicidal.
Yeah, honestly.
They burned themselves like one of
them.
They
blend themselves.
Skewer them and put them on like, jeez.
Oh my God, that was funny.
They reminded me of the frosted cinnamon toast thing.
Oh, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch commercials?
Yeah, the cannibal thing.
I was waiting to see some of them just start eating each other, but no, we just saw them like basically killing each other for no reason.
I thought it was gonna be something like they would all combine and then make a bigger one or something like that.
Or an average size one, because they were just tiny marshmallows.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe not like a 50-foot one, but maybe like
an average
like a
size
9, maybe like a 9-foot or a 10-foot one.
That was pretty cool, but like I said, they did. I thought they did a good job with just the dogs. The dogs are just great.
And then the part where I thought they were done with the little marshmallow, I was like, that's funny, nostalgia to the whole movie.
Oh yeah,
and then they were in the comic podcast, and he's like killing him. He's like, I got my own problems.
And then he's full with marshmallow.
He's like, he's like committing marshmallow murder, and he's just fully covered. Meanwhile, probably like one of the strongest ghosts of all times, like they're fighting him, and he's like, I got my own problems.
Yeah, I was just like,
and then
Trevor's like, get it to work.
Get it to work. We need it.
He's like, that scene was the best, probably the funniest scene in the movie.
The other part that was really funny about the scene was when the original Ghostbusters popped out. And then you have 3 of the marshmallows, like, just going like, the fact that they already know who they were. I was like, there's ghosts that are Ghostbusters. They're like Ghostbuster fans, even though they're ghosts.
Can I really just say, like, the end scene was just probably like that. I thought it would have fallen off, towards the end of the movie. They're, put them in the trap, they're done. But the whole to get the trap to work and put them in the trap was awesome. Like, they're shooting the guns at him, and she's just kind of, bringing the streams to make it weaker and just showing how really powerful.
Yeah.
Can we just call her a she? I'm sorry. They, them. I don't know what it is, but
she looks like she looks like Frankenstein, like the Miss. What's her name? Miss Frankenstein.
Yeah, she kind of
because of the hair.
She or like Edward Scissorhands, like got a haircut. Edward Scissorhands went to the barber. But yeah, and then I was like, how are they gonna win? And then they bring in the OGs with their weapons, and I was like, all right, that's awesome.
No, that was great. Like the whole part of the end, like the whole final fight, it was good. I liked it.
Yeah. I would say there was quite a few parts I didn't really like. I think there's a lot of stuff thrown in there just to make the movie a little longer. Like, I like the part with the farm scene, but then when they go to the diner, and then it's like, I'm gonna, the whole thing is like, I'm gonna get a job, and I was like, what's the point of this?
Yeah, I know. It was like, what's the point
only
of
gets
this?
the job for the girl.
Honestly, yeah. But honestly, though, isn't that what we used to do when we were teenagers?
Yes.
Go to jail?
No, not go to jail. Get a job for a girl.
What was
or
her
do
purpose?
something for a girl.
One thing I want to bring up on this podcast is me and Adrian, we talked about it before this podcast even started. How the hell did she get assimilated on the team? She didn't do anything.
The sheriff's daughter.
The sheriff's daughter. So I thought, maybe she would be, she's suiting up. I thought maybe she's going to join the team because she's the one that unlocks the key to get them their weapons. But she didn't even do that. She brought them there. And then she's like, all right, I'm done. That's kind of like, it was like Finn bringing Rey to the
other fun fact about
Star.
that, when they're in the evidence room, there was like, did you find? I was like, no, all I keep finding are stupid guns. And like,
yeah.
I was like, all right.
Oh my god, damn, that's a lot of guns. But that whole transaction of her just being there, she was just there. She was just there.
She is.
I mean, the fact that when you look up the cast on Google, which I have in front of me, and it doesn't tell you her name, really just shows her usefulness in this film.
Yeah, I mean, I love her as an actress,
yes.
But like even I was like, yeah, she didn't. Do
Outside
she didn't do anything.
Outside of the scene when they're kind of at the mine and then they see the ghost, I feel like that's really it.
I also found it funny that no one decided to go down the mine cart that goes straight down and takes you into basically the temple.
Yeah.
Like no one decided to actually go check it out ever. Like you guys just
yeah.
Everyone just hangs out on it like, I don't know what's down there, but let's sit on it and hang out.
Let's sit on it and maybe fall to our death at the same time.
But no, like no one ever I would have been curious. I was like, I wonder where this goes.
Yeah.
I mean,
straight down.
Yeah, but then I think it was kind of the whole thing of where it's like a ghost story and a lot of people died there, so I think they thought if they went there they would die. But come on, dude. Like little kids, they don't they don't care about that. They want to go look. You're telling me You're telling me no one went into the Temple of the Forbidden Eye and went up in there and saw laser beams shooting at some puddle from hell. You're telling me no one saw that?
Oh, that's the mud bath from hell if you haven't heard.
You're telling me the FBI ain't down here trying to do that? Like, bruh. There's a lot of
But it also makes sense why no one pays attention because small town. Small town, nothing happens.
There's probably maybe 500 people max that even live there.
Yeah. But no, besides that, everything was good. I honestly didn't have any problems with this movie. It was a really fun movie just to randomly watch on I forgot what day I saw it. Thursday, Friday night. But it was just a good movie to watch. Or if someone wants something to watch and this is still in theaters, I'll really recommend it. Especially if you're an old Ghostbusters fan. This one will not disappoint.
Yeah, this movie is kind of the resurgence of the trilogy.
And
it kind of blew me away, honestly. Like I said, I went in there with DC level expectations. And I really enjoyed it. There was not a single moment where I was like, all right, this needs to hurry up.
Oh yeah, exactly. I was having a good laugh throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, sure, there was moments where it's kind of like, I don't really care about this part. Let's move on. But the most of it was really good, like him fixing a car, him drifting around.
The granddaughter finding the hidden stash of all their equipment.
Yeah,
podcast being podcast.
The only person that I was like, all right, get your shit together is the mom.
Yeah, that was the only thing. But that was the main not the main conflict, but the turning point to add conflict to the movie because everything was just fun and games, and then when they finally get pulled over by the cops And then the granddaughter Phoebe starts getting mad because she's like, no one understands my grandfather like I do now because he was there for a reason, and they were starting to the classic, oh, they're just kids. Why will we believe you?
And it's funny how she was talking about like, oh, I want Phoebe to get she was kind of saying like, I want Phoebe to get arrested. I want her to be a kid.
Be a kid. And then they do get arrested.
And she's all mad. I was like, you wanted this.
You wanted your daughter to be normal. And like I said, at first when I saw Phoebe, I was like, oh, she's just some random character. She's not important. But no, she ends up growing onto you, and she's actually a great character.
In the beginning, I was like, okay, she's just a mega nerd. And then she, honestly, quickly, I started to care about her the most. And then later on in the movie, Trevor become useful, and podcast.
Yeah, I thought Trevor was gonna be like that asshole older brother that doesn't care. But he's like, you guys want to ride? Goes on a whole goose chase.
He's like, I fixed it. First off, there was no backstory on why he can magically fix a car. Like what?
I think it's the fact that they're constantly always moving and they're always like breaking shit, or they don't
remember their car broke. That he did fix it, and then they went back on the road.
So it's just to him, it was just a learning experience. Like, oh, he seems like he's that brother that doesn't really care, but at the same time, he's that older brother that's just taking care of his mom and sister to make sure that they get from one point to the other.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna try and genderize a role, but like he's like the man of the house, and he has to be there for his family, and he like fixed the car, so he does like the quick stuff that he's just like the utensil, like he's really useful.
And it was also to show his own version of like if he's like what kind of book smart he was. He's like, oh, I'm basically kind of like the mechanic. Smart.
Yeah, like she's she's book smart and he's like hands-on learner.
Hands-on smart, basically.
Yeah, like a hands-on learner. And I was like...
She's like, can you ever read a book? Can you ever just explain to me what it is?
Exactly. And they did have that good like brother and sister vibe, which made it work.
I liked that they were tight. Because I feel like if they weren't tight, then this movie probably would have sucked.
It would have been more problematic. And I was like, oh, these are issues we don't need in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, them constantly fighting. But no, you barely saw that. They're like, you could tell that they secretly got perfectly along.
Yeah, he's like, I fixed the car. And it's like, all right, we're going to go chase a ghost. And he's like, all right.
All right, cool, get in.
Podcast, or someone was like, do you have your license? And she goes, he failed his license, his driving test like 6 times. And he's like, all right, he just walks in, he doesn't care. I'm like, dude, I'm like, dude. First.
But that's because at the same time, podcast was also the outcast, like the child outcast in this whole like town. Because like he's just that weird kid who's just like, I'm podcasting. I was like, where do you go? It's like, I'm podcasting.
And then it was funny that one of the Ghostbusters actually watched his podcast.
The main It was like, your podcast is like you listen to my podcast.
Like, I think
you're my one viewer.
Yeah, I think you really found your voice in the 40th episode. He's just like,
dude, that's a real fan right there.
Yeah, he said,
that's a real fan.
I remember this podcast said that earlier. It was like in the 40th one. I feel like I made it better, and then he said it, and I was like, "Thank you for validating podcast."
That's what made this movie like great too. Like just those small little details like that they said in the beginning, and then it comes back to like the end. Like I think all those small details were just what makes the movie also very great.
Yeah, and then like it gave you good nostalgia without overloading your nostalgia. Like,
exactly.
It made room for the newer Ghostbusters, and I don't have any problems with it. I will gladly watch it.
I'll gladly rewatch it again too. Maybe on a Tuesday. Because, there's too many movies coming out.
Maybe.
December is going to hit us with so many
December is going to be like the god month.
I'm saying it like we're not in December yet, but
we
are in December.
We are in December now.
We're in December.
The Spider-Man, the Kingsman movie, the Matrix, like...
there's one more, I think.
What was the other one?
Shoot. I can't remember.
Yeah. But anyways, like, that's all you need to know.
Honestly, number one right now is obviously Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think the one I'm next hyped for is... The Matrix, to be honest. Yeah, The Matrix. Matrix, and then Kingsman last right now. Yeah. But I feel like there's one more movie, but I can't remember.
I think Keanu Reeves as The Matrix is good. I know we're getting a little off topic, guys, but hey, stay with us, all right? It always happens.
At least you know what's coming up.
Yeah, there it is. But yeah, this movie, is there anything you guys didn't really care for?
Podcast.
You didn't like podcast?
Not really. In the beginning, I thought he was useless.
Like I know, but that was his charm. That's what I liked about him. Like, you think he wasn't useless, but at the end, he was like that guy who was like, I got your back.
Oh
like, I got
yeah, but
Or he was like, I'll fix it.
yeah, but if you think about it, the only reason why Chomper got away the first time was because of him. And he didn't know how to freaking use the thing. I'm like,
Okay, but
remember-
he just got in there.
remember
There's no
that-
role manual.
What was that whistle? He got that Aztec death whistle.
Yeah.
That thing was terrifying. I was like, oh, that's what it made. Oh,
I thought
want
it'd be
one.
like a.
yeah.
I thought it'd be like a. I was like,
I thought it would
that's a
actually
cool
work.
flute. Yeah, I thought it was like a little flute sound, but I didn't know it was like Bloody Mary. I was like, jeez, dude. You didn't really. I liked podcast.
No, I didn't like him in the beginning. He was kind of meh for me at the end. I was like, okay, he's here.
Well, to be honest, yeah, like in the whole beginning, I was like, oh, it's all new characters. Like, I didn't really care.
Yeah.
But throughout the whole movie, they just all started growing onto me.
Yeah, there were a few. Okay, this is just me being nitpicky. I was like, how did the Ghostbusters car have gas in it? You know, how did it not need new spark plugs?
Honestly.
I was like, how the hell? And I mean, I assume we took care of it.
I mean,
yeah.
the thing is,
and then there's, you know, we're in like 2021. You know, when the original Ghostbusters came out, I was like, okay, you know, maybe DNA, you know, forensics isn't that high of a level. But even in the frickin' boonies, you see ectoplasm, and that doesn't confirm their story that the boogeyman's flying around. Okay, I was like, get with the sheriff,
Literally. Boogeyman.
boogie boogie. Yeah. I would like I would have liked Mr. Gruberson to have like a more impactful role.
Yeah.
I thought he would have gotten freed of like the, you know how because the dog like possessed him. I thought he would have gotten free of that a lot sooner and have been more impactful because they kind of hyped him up. He was like, "Oh, I'm an earthquake nerd, and you know we're not on a fault line. It doesn't make sense why there's earthquakes. First off, where's like the government? There's earthquakes somewhere there shouldn't be earthquakes.
And no one's like researching
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Where are locals
He's
figuring
like,
that?
he's
the
like,
only one.
We got our own problems. We'll let you figure it out.
You're telling me he's the only one that gives a damn when like
Honestly, yeah, he was the only one who was looking into these earthquakes.
Yeah.
everyone else is just like, you know, regular
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Like, man,
They acted like they were Californians.
Yeah,
And they're like, oh, it's just another
For
earthquake.
real. Like, man, it's just another.
It's just an earthquake.
And they only started to care when it shook even more, like a hard shook. And
Yeah.
I was like, you're telling me no one else wants to know why this is happening? Yeah, but I thought that would have had more of a role. You know, I thought he would have had more of a like. Even the mom got free a lot sooner. And you know what? Really, did she do? Oh, she
pulled the lever.
She pulled the lever. But
But
apparently she pulled the wrong lever because it didn't work. Or the foot pedal too. Like, I kind of like that because, you know, it's like her dad did it and then now she's gonna do it. And
They
then
still had to
it
fix
still
it.
didn't
The
work.
thing that I was thinking, I was like, I think it still needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
When they were doing it, and you find out that it still failed, but Trevor came to the rescue and
I mean, I guess
powered
it
it
was
up.
kind of in the moment, but you would think that they would have checked that stuff.
you would have thought so. too.
Yeah.
Or maybe like Spooky Boy Grandpa would have notified them that shit
Like,
didn't
hey,
work.
this is how
to
I
fix it.
died. My trap didn't work.
Yeah. Like a failed Scooby-Doo attempt. The trap didn't work.
Honestly.
Oh my god. But no, besides that, yeah.
The end credit scene.
The first one was mad because it was just what was his face? Bill Murray?
For what?
Because there was 2 after credit scenes in Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, the one with Bill Murray where
Bill
he
Murray, yeah.
So it was
where
saying that
he's
he
like,
was
what's
like,
on this card?
Yeah,
He's like,
the
a 6 pointing.
telepathy
Yeah.
shit, yeah.
I was playing that too. He's like, what's on this card? And I was like, bacon? Because it was just it was like 3 squiggly lines, and I was like, that's totally bacon. And he's like, 3 squiggly lines. I was like, oh, okay. She wanted to be that precise.
Yeah.
I think that was his wife, or like the wife or someone. Oh no, that was the secretary.
Yeah, that
It
was
was
the
shocking him.
secretary,
I would
yeah.
have liked to see more of her. I wonder if she'll come back.
I feel like that's where they added like all these extra characters because you find out that in the second after credit scene, one of the guy who takes the Ecto one back to New York,
Ernie Hudson.
you find out that the that same lady that was just making sure that the house was like having power and everything. Because you find out that basically, what was his name? The guy from the original Ghostbusters name?
Yeah, Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, you find out that he was basically making sure that what's his face was still getting money and making sure that he could still live.
Yeah,
off
I
in
mean,
that barn because
Yeah.
you know he didn't have a job, he didn't have anything.
I was shocked that they were broke. You'd think that they would have done better marketing. You know, like they had a cool ass, sell shirts. Like,
Yeah.
what are they doing?
The actual Ghostbusters logo.
Or like, probably would have created a toy line. How did that not happen? I was like, how are these people broke? I was
One of them came out rich though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like one of them had to become rich in order for them to continue
Well,
the
yeah,
saga.
yeah. I think that's what they were talking. I was like, well, one of them had to make money, so
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Ernie Hudson
They
kind of
ran a
yeah. He just started going with business. Yeah.
was like almost a billionaire. Like he bought the firehouse, he brought it home. Like to me, that was really showing that Ghostbusters are back.
Honestly,
Yeah.
and
Because,
now I can't wait. I can't wait.
This whole movie could have happened, but without that end credit or scene, or I guess post,
They would have just left it there.
I
at
think
movie,
I think
yeah.
it might have just been done, but that's showing that they're willing to make more. And you know what? I'm willing to watch more.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this movie, I tried to script it, but we just had to talk about it. There was a lot of important characters, and there was a lot of characters that no one remembers. So there was useful characters, and then there's the sheriff's daughter who was knighted without doing anything.
just there.
Yeah. Final.
I'm really trying to think, like, what did she do? She didn't do anything.
She was just there.
She was there for that.
Maybe
All
we'll
right,
see
Final
more.
ratings. What did we think?
So I went from
Once is good enough.
once was good enough, but mine went to I'll buy it. Like I'll definitely buy this movie, and I'll watch it again.
Yeah, I agree. I would buy this movie. I went in there once is good enough, kind of like lowered, like, but it took my expectations and it exceeded them. It brought nostalgia and new gen in like the perfect ratio. And it showed that the old cast are willing to come back to research.
Which I was very shocked,
Ghostbusters.
and I was like,
I did
honestly
not expect
did not expect that.
I thought they would have came in for that fight scene and then been done. But they, at least one of them shows that they're willing to come back. Maybe we probably won't get all of them. Maybe one or two of them.
Maybe.
Like,
Maybe like Ernie Hudson and Bill Murray. Maybe.
just like the mentor, something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They have to bring one back.
Yeah.
But if not, I'll be happy to see all
I
three.
mean, when you really think about it, like this was like way better mentorship to than like Luke to Ray. They just kind of throw Ray at Luke, and Luke didn't want to.
Here, just swing the saber.
Luke's like, I don't want to deal with this. Luke's
lift these rocks.
like what did he really even teach her? Nothing. But I feel like this movie's gonna do like a lot better, like with mentorship. And who knows? We're in the 21st century. Maybe they make gear improvements while still keeping the OG stuff. So
They
it'll be
make
like old tech meets
pistol
new tech.
plasma guns or something like that. Yeah.
Maybe Tony Stark will give them arc reactors in their guns, and then instead of capturing the ghost, they'll just start obliterating the ghosts.
Oh.
What'd you think about it?
Well, going into it, I thought it was going to be a meh because I was like, oh, this is going to be another failed attempt to try and revitalize
yeah.
Ghostbusters.
It's really
for
hard
me.
to like revive an old movie.
Yeah,
I feel like
It's kind of like an old, like trying to revive an old game. Like, to be honest, a lot of remastered games that are like remastered from like the old ones, they pretty much all suck.
I mean, that's the words right there, remastered.
Yeah, well, that's kind of
the ones you should.
This one was called Afterlife, but it was basically a Call of Duty remaster. But except it wasn't actually a good one.
Yeah.
So you continue with your point.
Yeah, but it surprised me. I kind of figured they'd bring back every single like member of the old crew except for the guy who died, obviously.
Right.
But
I like that his Force Ghost was there.
right? Yeah, that's one thing I did not expect.
Tell me it's not a
Same.
Force. Tell me it's not a Force Ghost.
It is
It's a Force Ghost.
But
You know why he came back? Because he had family.
oh my fucking lord. Anyway,
The daughter got that closure. I really liked that part.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what. We forgot about that.
Yeah, the whole time she's like, he didn't get it.
It's like-
he didn't
it's like-
care about
it's like
me. And then
his-
it was like, boom, your whole
it
life
was-
right there on the board.
it was like his unfinished business in a way.
It was.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like capturing the ghost, but it was like the one final straw keeping him around.
Yeah, but aside from that, it rose to I'd see it again. It's not a buy worthy for me, but I'd definitely see it again.
Yeah, I think buy worthy is kind of like on like the low spectrum of buy worthy because this movie I kind of consider it like Dune. Dune was really good. However, the next one is really gonna show if like the overall premise is good. Because imagine this one's really good and the next one sucks. Everything we thought that would happen. Imagine it just sucks. Like imagine they bought the firehouse and then they just leave and it's the new kids on the block.
Honestly.
Yeah. They're
the ones who bought Avengers Tower.
How the hell are they going to drive around in New York like that? You know, New York's way more crowded than it is now. You know, are they driving it when Loki invades and there's no one on the fucking road?
Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Hawkeye?
Like, if the next one is... It might not be just as good. You know, it might be better, it might be a little bit worse. But if the next one is good, I think that would really nail it.
Sometimes people tend to learn from what they make. Not all the time, but sometimes they learn.
Yeah. I will say they set up the perfect recipe for the next one to be good.
They did.
A lot of movies don't do that. A lot of movies just kind of end it, and you're like, "That was good," and the next one you're like, "Oh, okay, this is happening. Oh, it's done."
Spider-Man 3.
Okay. Yeah, literally. There was no setup for that. This one they set it up perfectly.
They literally set it up in a baseball reference. Like, they put the ball on the tee down the middle in your sweet spot. All you need to do is just swing and hit it out of the park. But we'll see if they actually do.
That is a baseball analogy? That is very long. I thought analogies are like one sentence.
Whatever. End it.
In the corner pocket. Something that.
End it.
Anyways, guys. Thank you for listening in. We appreciate everyone, and we want you to be a part of the conversation. You know, let us know in the comments what you think. You know, are we geniuses? Are we fucking idiots? Let us know. Make sure you like, subscribe, and, you know, personally for this one, I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think the next one is going to be just as good, or you think the next one is going to be, or is the next one going to suck? Let us know, and remember, you can be nerds about anything, but we're nerds about everything. See ya.
See ya.
Do it up, baby.